Hello friends, welcome back to the bench. Thank you very much for joining me. Our patient is the motherboard, what is this? X870 Strix. Finally, an AM5 socket. I just prefer working on AM5 socket. It's so much easier than, fighting with those 1700s and alike. And recently, pretty much every single board that I get is 1700 socket. Plus, the sockets are more expensive, significantly more expensive. I get random numbers because I'm pretty sure I'm losing money on this service. So when it's 1700, if it's AM5, it's fine. I'm definitely not losing money. But anyways, I removed the Rex, so I'll find a better use for it because it's a great controller, especially for IR heaters. So I'll find some use for it in the garage. ReworkTC devices like this one, not like this one because this one's on Heltec. I'm not selling Heltecs, but ReworkTC devices are available. The link should be in the description. If it is not, there's other links in the description that go to my eBay, and you can just hit other sellers, other items, and you can find ReworkTC over there, or you can just search for ReworkTC on eBay. You should be able to find it. Now there are two versions. One is with the screen, like this one, and they just show you the temperature and the state and the percentage wise. But you get all that information in Rework Pro. Now, very important, once you receive it, run an auto tune, and better yet, just use your own judgment and adjust the PID loop, because it comes configured, well, not really configured, it's configured to like 5.5 and 8, something like that. So it'll work. I like it that way because you will notice that PC410 has relatively low P, huge I, and relatively low D. ReworkTC, after tuning, is going to have relatively big P, so we're pushing a lot of energy to the heater. Very small I, so very little overshot, very little error correction over time. And D, also relatively big, right? So I think that's better for these heaters. I'm not sure why they use on PC410, why they configure them with a huge I. And you see that when you compare two power bars, you see how gently a ReworkTC is controlling the power. That power goes slowly up, slowly down, right? Because we have high P, so that's a predictive, it's a proportional, high D, the derivative. That's a predictive component of it. Small I, so it's not accumulating error over time very strongly, right? So the power doesn't go all the way up very quickly like the PC410 does. And relatively high P, which essentially P is just the distance between the set point and the current temperature, right? So that's that initial power, that initial kick we send to the heater. So it's kind of like a gas pedal. So essentially, it's very easy to configure. You just hit one button and change your PID values and just see how that works. That's how I use them: high P, low I, relatively high D. Now there are two versions, one on ESP32 and one on Arduino Nano. Both are on CH340, so you just plug them in. They're always in this orientation, right? So they're kind of designed to replace Rex, and so they plug in from the left and the screen is in this orientation. If you mount it somewhere else and you need it to be in the other orientation, just let me know. I'll send you when you purchase, just let me know, make a note on the order that you want a different orientation, and I'll fulfill that. There are only 3 available right now, but you can pre-order as many as you want, well, unless you want more than 50. Which means there's going to be roughly 2-week fulfillment time if you pre-order, because I have to physically order the parts. I just don't have enough in stock, and since I'm not quite in the position to just kind of invest in inventory, let's just see how many people actually need it, because you can build it yourself. You don't have to buy it from me. You can build everything yourself. The software is open source, and you really don't, as long as you have Rework Pro, you don't need to buy anything. You can build everything yourself. But from me, they're coming all tested, pre-built, programmed, configured. Everything is just plug and play. All right, enough yapping. Let's get some sockets replaced. All right, we are done. It looks good. Unfortunately, on these whiteboards, maybe the camera is not really catching it, but you can see that there's no way to remove all of this. I'm gonna drown it in some alcohol still, okay, and I'll see if I can get it a little cleaner than it is right now. But on the whiteboards, you can always tell that there was heat and there was flux. And you don't want to keep it in the ultrasonic cleaner too long, but look at that, right? This cap is already losing, because that was like half an hour of ultrasonic cleaning, which is on the higher side. Usually I like to do it 15 minutes to 20, 24, 25 minutes tops. This one, after 30 minutes, it's still seeing a lot of residue from the flux. Now this is relatively potent flux, so yeah, This is not as easy. Well, once it burns, right? Because if it doesn't burn, it's easy to clean. It's a little more sticky though than my 559-55-2, but that's the whole thing, right? If you want to make it a little more potent, then you have to make it a little more sticky. No way around it. But yeah, I'll try to work with it a little longer, but not putting it in the ultrasonic cleaner because I think that's enough ultrasonic cleaning. If it's not good after this long, it's not gonna be better. That's from my experience. And you only risking damage to the board. Alrighty, and from the updates, I heard, I don't know if you guys seen the post from Tony, but looks like KNN, if I remember the name correctly, KNN Software is discontinuing the project of the battery analyzer, which to me, that's actually kind of funny, because how can you discontinue project you never released, right? I've never seen it, I've never confirmed that it actually does work. What the hardware is for it or what kind of hardware it works with. Oh, and he did say that it's because there was lack of support from community. Well, I'm suspecting that maybe some people wrote him like nasty emails or something like that. I mean, that doesn't mean there's no support. You're always gonna have some trolls and stuff. You gotta develop a little thicker skin if you want to be in this business. But number one, you have to release something. What are you discontinuing? You haven't released anything, at least not for US market. I don't know, maybe you keep selling a lot in Ukraine or Russia or whatever. I don't care. But it hasn't been delivered to me, and I've heard some comments on my video actually. I didn't go through the comments on his video. But on my video comment there was one comment like, where's my refund or something like that. So I think the execution, I think we can give him an A for effort, but execution wise, that's a failure. That's why it didn't work. It's not lack of support from community. It's just execution. If you're not good at execution, just partner up with someone else. That'll take the execution on them, and you just worry about substance, right? The technology. But that's how it is. If I had a nickel for every project I dropped, I'd be a millionaire now. It comes and goes, and sometimes throughout the work on the project, you discover that either something cannot be done, or it's not feasible, or it takes too much time, or anything. Things happen during the work on the project, right? So yeah, projects get canceled left and right all the time, because that's how this business works. So I wouldn't worry too much. I kind of don't like the conclusion of it, that I'm discontinuing the project because I received nasty comments or angry emails or stuff like that. I don't know. Well, to each their own. You do you. And if the community doesn't want to support you, then find other investors, or I don't know. I don't know what was the point of even doing that if you're just gonna drop it like that. Anyways, our project does continue, and the hardware should be released soon. Self-contained hardware, you just connect the battery and you get some information about it. No unlocking yet, but we're still working on that. So anyways, we will continue, and let's keep this board in alcohol a little bit and see where. Actually, I'm gonna keep it in the ultrasonic cleaner. Just let it soak over there, and it should be better. All right. Hope you guys found this useful. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you guys in the next one.